star of the show. Always remember, I'm Waters. This is my world.
And welcome to Hannity. It is 9 o'clock on the East Coast, 7 p.m. right here in the Black Hills of beautiful South Dakota, where right behind me, well, a once-in-a-lifetime celebration is about to kick right into full gear at the world-famous Mount Rushmore National Memorial. Now, we are only a few hours away from the 250th birthday of the greatest country on earth. I always say the greatest country God gave man. And tonight, buckle up, we have multiple U.S. military jet and helicopter flyovers. We've got live music. We got a very important speech. The president will be here, President Donald J. Trump, and of course a massive, and I'm told massive, fireworks display. We'll have all of that for you. Also, we will be joined right here on set by a lot of special guests tonight, including the governor of my home state, Florida, the free state of Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis is here in South Dakota with our colleagues Brett Baer, Harris Faulkner, the one and only Kid Rock will be here live. But we do begin tonight with a quick note about Mount Rushmore. Now, if you look at this colossal monument dedicated to the legacy of four incredible, legendary American presidents, Washington, Jefferson, Teddy Roosevelt, Abraham Lincoln, it was carved into the grand face of this mountain nearly 6,000 feet above sea level, much like the formation of modern-day America. No easy task, using approximately, get this, 450,000 tons of dynamite. You had a renowned sculptor from Idaho and a gifted stonesman who immigrated to the U.S. from Italy. They led a relentless team of hundreds of patriots to forge this iconic masterpiece, you know, from the vast Dakota wilderness. By the way, not a single person died in creating that masterpiece. And by the way, it doesn't even begin to describe the scale of this monument. Now, the faces alone, they are 60 feet tall. There is a huge vault that a lot of people don't know about. It's actually carved inside of the mountain just behind Abraham Lincoln's face that has yet to be completed. Now, ultimately, Mount Rushmore is the perfect representation of America. Hard work, ingenuity, perseverance. You know, the great people of this great country have always done and continue to do great things, but the work is never over. Remember, Ronald Reagan warned all of us famously that freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. Anyway, joining us now with a preview of what is going to be an incredible night. We have 2 hours of great coverage. Straight ahead for you is our very own Jacqui Heinrich. Jacqui, looks like you're ready to celebrate.
Of course. I mean, what a better place to celebrate 250 years of American exceptionalism than this iconic monument. And we're told by the White House that the president's going to deliver a really powerful speech, not just an optimistic and inspiring speech about what it means to be an American, but also a rebuke to communism and some of the other philosophies that America has rejected over the course of this country. On top of that, this fireworks display is really just a show of how much we have to celebrate, and happening on the backdrop of Mount Rushmore, where you have the presidents carved in the stone that show not just to, you know, a tribute to the past, but also telling the children of our future, you know, what is possible. You can build big things, you can create, because we have the freedom to do that in this country. And that is the message that the White House aims to deliver tonight to a huge crowd. We had a little bit of a weather scare earlier. There was some hail that sent people sheltering for a second.
I was right in the middle of the hailstorm driving over here.
Yeah, it was big.
It felt like rocks were pounding on the car. It was crazy. But the weather's now cleared up.
It has.
As I was reading the history of how they did this, all of the dynamite that was used, all of the work and ingenuity that went in behind it, not a single person died in the creation of this. And I don't even think pictures or the images we're going to show really bring home, if you have not been here, the magnitude of really the majesty of American creation here.
It takes your breath away. And what's interesting about tonight is I was talking to one of the people the organizers, and they said that back behind the mountain, there's this little cavern where they basically used to have all of the equipment to do the carving, and then also they use it now still to do maintenance, because if you get water between the rock, it freezes. They need maintenance every once in a while to make sure it stays in place. And that is where the pyrotechnic people set up the display. They had to have 30 specially trained highline operators that sort of stuffed it into the crevice back there. It is protected from the elements, so the fireworks will not be too damp to go off. However, there was also a provision in the state contract that if there was weather, in the way, there's a light show that they could use. So like maybe a drone show.
I'm told that the fireworks display is like out of control.
Yeah.
And tomorrow night's fireworks also, I think that's going to be the biggest ever held in the history of the country.
And to have it here, also, President Trump was the last president to have a fireworks display here at this monument. They used to have it pretty regularly, and then it was stopped a few years before his last time in 2020 because of concerns over wildfire risks and also some protests from the Lakota people. Biden never brought it back after Trump brought it back in 2020. Now President Trump's bringing it back again. The crowd size is smaller than the last time he was here. They had a cap at 4,800 in order to mitigate the risk. And the rain is going to help with any, flare-up potential.
The rain has actually cooled things down a little bit. So, I mean, and we'll be in D.C. tomorrow night for our coverage there, 5 hours of coverage. And I hear it's supposed to be like 100 degrees when we're doing the show, which will be pretty crazy. Maybe I didn't dress right for the occasion. Maybe I should have had the cowboy hat on as well.
You can borrow it if you need.
Oh, I'll have one.
Has my initials on it. We got to get you one too.
All right, thanks for watching. Check out my new podcast, Hanging Out with me, Sean Hannity. The big interviews, the debates you won't get anywhere else. Like and subscribe for new episodes every Tuesday and Thursday.